Worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. Now, I must, on my next interview, y'all, again, we live and direct at the Social Club, and this is the Mom Presents Mother's Day After Bash. Mother's Day was last week, but we got some mothers in the building. They represent and they proud of who they are. Clap one time if you're a mom, you feel good about yourself, and you're happy about what you're doing in life. So, worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. Once again, y'all, we live on the set. I'm on my second beautiful lady that's geared to represent what she went through in life. Tell her story. DJ Knuckles, how you doing, baby? We live on the set. So here we go. Miss Rebecca Sampson. How you feeling today?
I'm blessed.
And we want to go ahead and get into this next segment now. Worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching health. If you could tell me, what's that really mean to you? Being a mother, how does worth correlate with you being a mother?
It forces you to find yourself and to know your worth so that you're able to teach your children to the best extent of version of yourself.
And speak up just a little bit because we got a crowd like you. Oprah Winfrey, Phil Donahue, Black Phil Donahue, you feel me? So talk a little bit loud because I know you like to talk and I know you want to be heard. So the manifestation of motherhood, can you give me the definition, maybe what that means to you?
Planting seeds in your children and protecting them and making sure that they sprout as they're supposed to. Manifestation as far as your faith, being able to do what God has called you to do with those children, being able to align yourself with God to be able to know exactly what your child needs from you and what God's vision for them is.
And for you to be a mother, how many children do you have?
I have 6.
6 children. And if I can ask you, how young were you when you started out being a
20.
mom?
I was 20.
20 years old, 6 children. And how does it feel being a mother?
I'm dope. I love being a mom.
And can you maybe explain maybe something about your past, your history, your testimony to where you are today?
So I wasn't always a good mom. 18, I was a dropout. 18, I was stripping around the streets of Columbus. I was in Rosemont. I was in DH. I just couldn't seem to get myself together. I ended up with pimps on the street.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Real pimps?
Real pimps.
Like a pimp that tell you what to do,
Absolutely.
you give him the money,
Absolutely.
turning tricks.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be funny or sarcastic, but this is the real world, right? So what we be doing, we be wanting to be real clear when we say something. You went fast. Stripping, Rosemont, pimps, 6 kids later.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So for me, I'm adopted. So I was adopted as a young child, and I was raised by 2 beautiful parents in Bexley, but I still had that void in me. But my DNA, my grandmother was a madam, my uncles were pimps, so it was already in me. Even though I wasn't raised around my mother and I was raised in a different environment, that generational curse wasn't destroyed.
So you followed the path that was given to you.
I followed the pattern, everything of my mom.
So when we talk about manifestation of motherhood, this example of a mother maybe wasn't the sharpest.
No, it wasn't good at all. Again, I got pregnant at 20, had my daughter at 21, and I was from here, Louisiana, Cincinnati. I just couldn't be still at all. Like, I wasn't a good mom at all. Even with my second daughter, I wasn't a good mom because giving my first daughter to my family to raise until I was ready, I was pregnant with my second daughter. So that, my daughter not being with me, allowed me to go through drug abuse. So I started using cocaine when my daughter left because it was to numb the pain of her leaving. And I was so beat down, I didn't think I could ever be who she needed me to be to get her back.
And see, this is what I'm trying to say for the people that's listening. When you come across a woman this beautiful, this elegant, this pretty, fingernails, hair looking good, maybe smelling good, we don't know what they've been through.
Right.
So like the guys that be salivating to get close to a lady, kiss on her body, kiss on her neck, begging her for what she got and don't have a clue that she been already through the ringer, maybe already been pimped, already lost in the sauce, snort cocaine and powder, tricking and sniffing just to get a dollar bill. Men, I think we should be real careful when we do come across a queen, because guess what? Look what she's now become from the journey of the street life. See, a lot of us get twisted. When you see a person and you judge the book by the cover, see the big ring, the diamonds, the tattoos, they just think, oh man, that girl got us. But you went through a lot of strife.
Absolutely.
So all I'm saying is, I'm only using these examples because out of all my years of knowing you, always knowing you to be a go-getter, strong, powerful black woman, never knew you was in a situation like that. And that's again what I'm trying to say. Underlining worth and overcoming, then rebuilding. So from that quick analysis of what you've been through now, how did you rebuild?
I think after getting kidnapped for 7 days in Philadelphia.
Hold on, so you was kidnapped too?
I was.
Did they tie you up?
No, they left. They kept us in a room for 7 days, me and a young girl with a guy outside the door.
So you was kidnapped for 7 days?
We went to Philadelphia to strip. He said something to me. I can't remember everything, but he said something right because I went with him. And at that time, I was so broken, you could pretty much say anything. If it jingled and it jangled, then it.
Is she talking loud enough? Can y'all hear what she's saying?
Yeah. Microphone?
No, not at all. Because this is real talk, what we doing right here. What I'm trying to say is, I'm asking you, did you hear it? Because the message of what we're trying to convey here. The young lady telling you her story, and she was kidnapped for 7 days. Some people don't believe that. There's some women kidnapped somewhere right now, tied up, lost in the sauce, and don't even want to be let go. Because of what she just now said. You can almost do anything to me when I'm this broken and I'm...
Right.
So now, how did you get away?
So there's a guy who is the doorman at the marquee right now.
Hold on a minute.
His name is Sudi.
Hold on a minute. Before she get the name drop, remember, this ain't rehearsed. I ain't got no script. I ain't call her yesterday morning and ask her what we was going to talk about. So this is new to me. So what I'm trying to do is get you to listen and understand and pay attention to what we doing. Worth overcoming, rebuilding, teaching, help. Now, the marquee.
So at the time,
I asked you how you got away from the kid.
well, the guy at the marquee was friends with me, and he kept saying, "Why are you not at the club?" Because we all came to strip in Philadelphia, and I was like, "Cause he won't let me out the room. Like he's kidnapping me. He wanted." So he had to pay him to get me, to release me.
And whose name did you say?
His name is Sudi.
Sudi is my boy. That's my dog. Listen, very articulate artist. I mean, he
Listen,
can draw.
he was like that back in
Listen,
the day.
he's so cold-blooded with it. Sudi, man, shout out Sudi. I can't believe I'm Sudi. I never knew.
Yeah.
He helped you escape.
Yeah, he brought me back home to my mom,
Sudi.
and it was a group of us, and yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, but again, when you are a black woman, whether you're raised in the hood, whether you're raised in the suburbs, if you're not identified with mental health and you don't sit in your mess, you will not birth out what God has called you to be. Sometimes I was toxic, and I didn't like accountability because I was so used to pointing the finger at everybody else. When you get tired of being tired, but then you realize when you start coming to God, that you have to answer for what you do.
So what made you change? What made you get back on track?
My father passed.
So is that what did it? So who do you blame for being where you are today?
Myself.
I'm talking on this positive aspect.
God. My
So
children.
another one. See, what I'm trying to say is, this is not a gospel show. This ain't church. But what we keep hearing is this God. We keep hearing about God. We keep hearing about this higher power of God that's changing these women and putting them back into their motherhood. And being a proud mother. Are you proud of what you've done as a mother? Give us maybe some high points on that.
My daughter's graduating high school next week. My oldest daughter's at Wright State to become a band director. And then I have twins who are in 9th grade. All my children are saved. My daughter's 19, virgin, don't drink, don't smoke. They all gave their life to Christ. They're all honor roll students. Yeah.
So everything you've been through, you made the reverse. Okay, let's do that one time, y'all. So you did the reverse of what you was taught.
I only did the reverse I was taught because I made a village for myself. And my villages, I'm not here by myself because I couldn't be. It was my villages when they were 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, all the way up to their ages that believed in me. They saw me trying as a black mom. I didn't have it all, but they were willing to pour into me, and I gave that back out. But what really helped me was my son. He has mental illness, and I realized I was toxic because I was triggering him. So I had to really ask God for his repentance because, okay, God, teach me how to talk to my son because I don't want to trigger him. Teach me how to birth and speak into him. I had to really spend time with God. I had to get off social media. I had to pray. I had to fast. I had to get rid of all my sexual clothes. I had to get rid of all of my R&B. I had to get rid of all of my rap. I had to really sit in the presence of God and really learn him to become who God wanted me to be.
And you know, I hate to say this, I rap. I love rapping. I'm talking about, if it wasn't for rap, I wouldn't be sitting here. If it wasn't for rap, I wouldn't be a qualified mental health professional. If it wasn't for rap, I don't know if I would have had my children, because my wife might have liked me because I knew how to rap a little bit, because she used to sit on the phone with me when I was kicking these raps. So what I'm saying is I'm giving the raps a little credit, but I always use scriptures in some of my music when I first started writing. So it always was something godliness in my demonstration. But what I'm trying to say is, from what I'm hearing her say, is with this truth, her truth, I bet you I can interview 1,000 mothers and I would have 1,000 different stories, but it still got trauma infused in it. If you can give advice to some ladies that's watching the show, because see, I ain't gonna lie, it seemed like I would have to be on the show with you a little bit longer to really get the gist of what you've really been through, because you gave me a quick little snapshot of some things you've been through. What advice would you give to some mothers that's suffering, that's hiding their illness, their pain and their stress right now, that they couldn't even tell you that they're going through? Like, what advice would you give them on this mental health spectrum that we dealing with? It's a mental crisis going on. Black boys and young black girls are so lost right now. When you ride down the street, you see them. You watch the news, you see them. They call them YNs right now. The girls is YNs too. Don't get that twisted. When they get to talking about just the black boys, the girls are just as toxic as our young men. What advice would you give to somebody watching, young lady or male, on what they could do or what they should do? Or what's your perspective on all this?
You have to forgive the imperfect person, because we're all imperfect. And sometimes, you know, we go through trauma, but that trauma is ordained for your purpose. You can't die in your pain. You have to somehow try to breathe each step of the way and try to ask for help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. I mean, I was homeless. You know, I was everything, but I wasn't too ashamed to say, listen, I'm down, but I need help. And I want to do right. And I was willing to surrender it all just to feel what it was like to do right. Once you get down doing wrong for so long, and then your kids suffer because of your decisions and your mistakes, it's time for you to really but it comes with, you got to be ready to surrender. You got to be ready to give up what you can't control and really want to be a good mom. Because some women don't want to be good moms. They're okay with being in the cycle of repetitive toxicity. They don't want to, and sometimes it's not even to blame them, they just don't know how to. They don't know how to. And you can tell them different things, but that's a you and God when you can't do it. Your job is just to plant the seed. And then somebody else will come along and plant the seed.
Rebecca Sampson, y'all. Clap one time for her. All she did was gave us a demonstration on what motherhood, mom figure. This is a mom figure. See, I got something called father figure too. But I gotta attack moms with this segment because there's so many people I see that's lost. And it ain't always a mom who was the best mom to teach you.
Yeah.
You know, like my dad wasn't really there for my mom. My mom fell victim to the streets through some of the trials and tribulations through my dad's era. So for me, I give my mom high praise. She's still alive. God bless my mom, Judy, if you watch it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate for where I am today. But for you, I would say I salute you. I give you high praise also, like I did Miss Sharon, for traveling through all those perils of stress and pain, the addictions and all the stress from men. So real quick now, are you married?
No, divorce.
Or divorced? Do you plan to ever get married again?
Yeah.
You want to be married?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I only ask that question because you meet so many single women. I meet so many single women in this town, across the country, so many single women. Do you think the men, and this is it right here, but do you think it's, what fault is it? Like, whose fault is it that I meet so many single black women? And I know that might not be something you can answer. But those people listen, the world gonna you'll hear this question.
I mean, I've seen 50-50. I've seen the women and I've seen the men with unhealed trauma from mom and dad, or the self-value of black men and women.
Worth.
The worth. A lot of black women and black men have been through. We all, as the culture, have been through so much. So it's identifying those pains, those traumas. I think it's just both of us. We don't know how to communicate. We're not willing to take accountability. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying I've seen it. Accountability or
communication, accountability, insecurity. So we can keep going on and on.
And we don't listen. We just we want to tell you how I'm supposed to feel because nigga, you didn't.
So the proper feedback is necessary. Well, listen, y'all. I can't stay here all night. Of course, we're going to get back to the music. Again, this is a smoke-friendly affair. No cocaine, no crack, no heroin. We ain't doing none of that. You can light your herb. They got edibles. They got a little liquor, a little water, a little spring. The food has arrived. For my guests, we're going to get y'all some food. You can go get you a plate or two. I don't know what they really serving. But, DJ, we get ready to kick the music again. Miss Rebecca Sampson, give me a high five. What T-shirt size do you want? She said she thanked. The last one said a small. She jumped in long. It's all right. We ain't tripping. So we got a medium. My door lady, I'm so sorry I didn't get your size. I'm going to make you one custom. Manifestation of Motherhood, y'all. This is Worth Overcoming, Rebuilding, Teaching, Help, a podcast that I'm going to be hosting. And again, it's about content and building. We setting on high heels. So like we trying to make sure we keep y'all ladies on a prestigious level. DJ, we gonna go and bring the music back in one time. God bless everybody in the building. We gonna play some music, enjoy yourself. And we got another segment coming up with another guest. Hey, hold on, DJ. And before y'all get this twisted, they keep asking me. My wife wasn't really feeling this shirt. And I said, well, you know, it means much more than what it shows. You got a lady holding a baby, black baby, but she got an AK-47 with a rose on the trigger. A revolutionary statement is what this is really all about. This ain't about you killing nobody because our black males is dying in an alarming race, but this is a symbol of power, symbol of protection and safety. So if you want one of these t-shirts, I got a couple of them for sale, but we giving these to my guests today. Mom on the back. Mother's Day affair tonight, y'all. Know your value, know your worth.
Promise not to do it again.